Welcome to Don't Be a Basic Biscuit, a real estate marketing podcast where we talk about what it takes to stand out in today's real estate world. I'm your host, Harveer Singh, and you can find me on all social platforms under the handle Real Estate Singh. Now let's get the show on the road. Hey guys, welcome back to Don't Be a Basic Biscuit. I have a special guest on today. It is actually my cousin, a relative of mine, Tom Suchdeva, who is out of Toronto, Canada. And the reason why I have Tom on today is because he is a phenomenal person when it comes to farming a location. And what we have spoken about in the past is, you could be a realtor, all across the state if you wanted to, or you could specialize on certain areas. And usually what happens is the people that specialize in certain areas have way more success. So Tom, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Good to see you virtually.
True.
Good. So Tom Suchdeva, selling real estate for almost close to 20 years now, working with Remax for the last 15 almost. Whole family is in real estate. Wife sells, Mandy sells real estate, as you know. Ronak is in real estate, so we become a team. You want to fire away with the questions, or you want?
Yeah, no, well, good. Just go from there. I mean, actually, Tom was one of the reasons, and he was guiding me quite a bit when I first jumped into real estate. So I owe a lot of the knowledge that I have for farming to Tom. And so what Tom has prepared is 20 points and 20 things that he's going to go over that has been very successful for him when it comes to farming. So why don't you just take away number one, and we could just discuss along the way.
Awesome. So the first point which I always concentrate on is select your area.
Okay, great.
Now, selection of an area is not just based on number of turnover, but also you look at the demographics of it. So in my business, I farm two areas.
Great.
One is the Scarborough Town Center, which is the condo building concentration around it, which is about 20 buildings, plus and minus. And then I also farm an area where I live. Why I do both? Because I get to attract both kind of demographics. The area where I live is mostly 50 plus, crowd.
Yeah.
So the value of properties is starting at basic house is starting at $1 million going to $2.5-3 million. So obviously you get a bigger price range also.
Of course.
And when you live in an area, you can say that you live in the area and you farm around it. So people see you, especially me being standing out with my turban.
Yep.
A lot of people would stop me and say,
and
hey,
you're very tall. He's also very tall.
Yeah.
I don't know where my height went, man. I stopped at 5'8", man. I wish I got to your height.
So that's the demographic, the houses which I do. Even though the turnover is less, but I don't have to drive 50 miles every day to go see a listing appointment.
Yeah.
Even sellers drop at my home because I have a home office, then they would see me that I live in the community and they feel more comfortable that we can reach Tom at any time.
Of something that comes to point here is essentially the fact that many people don't farm the area that they live. That is where you are most visibly seen. I always ask my agents, I'm like, hey guys, how many of you have actually does your neighbor even know you're a realtor?
Exactly.
Like how many have done your block? Because we're in more urban areas. So we go by blocks, right? You're just one block. You have like maybe 100 people. So I said, have you guys even farmed your own block? Usually they're like, what? I didn't think of that. I was like, come on, that's where everyone sees you.
So especially as the weather opens up, I start door knocking. Okay. So what I do in door knocking is I'll dress up, wear a tie, go and introduce myself and say, hey, I know you've been getting my flyers, and I'll show you a sample of the flyer, which I send out also in a minute.
Great.
And what I do is I always give out something of value. Like during springtime when I start, I'll carry these American Meadows flower seed pouches. They cost you about 50 cents. And I don't just drop it off in the mailbox. If I see them, then I'll hand it to them personally.
Nice.
Next time I might go around Canada Day, and I'll give them lapel pins like Canada flag.
I like that.
So it's small tokens that count, and they see my face all the time with flyers.
Oh, that's really smart. So this is your second point.
Yes.
Okay, so that's really good. Actually reminds me of Brian Buffini's pop buys, where you essentially give a little, token to them so that they can remember you.
Exactly.
So this is in your market, in the same area that you are farming. Great.
Correct. So the farm which I started was about 3,500 homes.
Okay.
Because it was divided down to it's called Highland Creek. Yeah. And it's divided down by the Toronto Real Estate Board as a community of about 3,500 homes. And I thought if I picked less, then I probably may not be, I might be leaving half of it out. So I just picked up the whole community.
Great.
The second side of the farming is the condo buildings. Now, I cannot go and see or door knock condo buildings or units.
Yes,
so I had to do it virtually. So with Ronak, I started doing videos on pros and cons of why you should buy in this location and what this building has to offer and why you should not buy in this location.
So you utilize YouTube as a farming tool for the condo buildings.
Exactly. And then I did a video for every condo building in that community, and we keep on building it up, slowly over time. So you start getting repeat business. People see you all the time, and they call you for buying or leasing or selling, all the business.
Okay, perfect. So by the way, you guys, he mentioned Ronak. That's his son, my cousin. Actually, I'm his uncle. Oh, gosh. Yeah. He's not that much younger than me. Oh, God, I'm an uncle. All right. But yeah, I treat him like a cousin. But essentially, that's his son. And, like he mentioned, it was a family business. So this is very interesting, guys. So he's farming a traditional style neighborhood style farm. And he's also doing condo buildings, which is similar to the area that I am from, where we have so many. Honestly, I'll just show you right now, right outside.
Oh my god!
Plenty of buildings, yeah, quite a few, right in eye shot. And so you guys also saw a little bit of the mess in my room. I was supposed to hide all that, but so what's the next point?
Okay, the next point is research the market.
Okay,
so you go door knock a person and he says, "Hey, what do you think the value of my home is, or what do you think that one sold for?" And you have no clue. You're going to look like you don't know your stuff.
Yeah.
So before you start farming, you should be well aware of every property that's sold in that 3,500 homes within the last year.
You should know the comps.
You need to know the comps. You need to be prepared for an answer or a very educated answer. If you can't give the precise, you've got to have a very educated answer.
Yes. Well, very good.
What I typically do is when I want to go and, let's say, door knock 2 streets, I know which I'm going to door knock. I'll make sure I'll print off everything on that sold on that street for the last 2 years or 3 years. Wow. So at least somebody brings up the conversation. I can tell them, yeah, that house down the street sold for this money, but it had this features or it had or a pool. So,
okay, so you know the comps. That's very important.
Comps. You know the price points. You know to know the trends in the area, like who's moving in now. So, like the Highland Creek, I'll give you an example. Has been one of the oldest villages in Toronto, and houses are built in the 1800s, 1900s, 1950s, and all that. And there's a lot of seniors. So as they move, younger families are moving in, or builders are taking over the older properties and knocking them down and building, monstrous
condo buildings
mansions on it.
Yeah.
You need to know who the target buyer is and who the target seller is.
Yeah, so you need to know who's really trying to buy a brand new building versus, somebody who's downsizing or upsizing. So you need to know who would want to buy that property.
Exactly. And that both farming ties it up because Scarborough Town Center is not too far from where I live. And everybody who sells their bigger home goes downsizes in Scarborough Town Center.
Okay, great, interesting.
So it ties into it that they see me as an educated source for knowing which building to buy in it.
So that's smart. So you found the area that they are downsizing into. So essentially, you're kind of double hitting both of them that are related markets. You're okay, very good.
Yeah, so that's what I do. Next point: build your local expertise. So I've been in this area for the last, almost 20 years, so everybody knows enough knowledge to at least make an opinion.
Of course.
Okay.
Good.
The next one is a branding strategy.
Okay, great.
So don't just start throwing out flyers have a consistency in it. So I'll give you an example. This is my flyer. It looks like this.
Okay, great. So guys, for those of you listening in and not watching, it's got a red, white, and blue color scheme with Tom and his wife on the cover. And so it's a good flyer.
So every time that goes out, it has something of value. So I'll give you an example. Like, why would you rent a condo short-term versus long-term, like Airbnb? What's the plus and minus of that? What the market's going to do, let's say this year. Are you looking for a pet-friendly condo? Then you would have a pet-friendly article in there.
Wow. So you have all the stats. Oh, so you have her son on the back as well. Wow, very cool. Yeah. So this is not only kind of like a postcard. It's actually like a newsletter in a way.
3-page.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's large. Oh, so that's a pamphlet. Okay, so you're sending out a pamphlet.
It's like
a lot of information on there, guys. So this is essentially, it's like a newspaper he's sending out.
On the back, this always goes out, free home evaluation.
All right, great.
So, and what I do is, a lot of the homeowners also call me because demographically it's an older area. I also I give letter of opinions. So that's for estate sale. When somebody passes.
Interesting.
So they ask me for a letter of opinion to pay the probate, and ultimately they end up selling the properties with me.
Okay.
But
okay.
I provide the service for free.
Okay, so that's interesting because you are specifically, I wouldn't say in your, so we call them 55 plus communities. Yours is not labeled as such. It is just that the demographics is that.
Yeah.
But that is very interesting, actually. That's another avenue that some people could look into is estate sales. Yeah, very good.
Yeah. It comes with the community,
territory.
or the neighborhood, I guess, the farm.
Yeah.
Next one, consistent marketing plan.
Okay, great.
Guys, you are only as good as your last flyer. That's how I look at it.
That's true. That's true.
So if people don't see this for 3 weeks, after 4 weeks, they would forget me because there's so much mail coming into it. And sometimes we'll get a call, we missed your next flyer. Can you drop it off?
Wow, really?
Yes.
Wow.
So people, and I've been to sellers where I didn't even have copies for 4 years. They had binded it up and kept it in a folder for 4 years.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really good. So what specifically is in that flyer? Because that's very unique.
So it gives you a market breakdown, what happened in the last month, sales-wise, upcoming open houses and the condos I have for sale. Then on the other side, I have, this is the January one. So you will see why the price is going to go up this year, because last 2 years was a dead market. And free home evaluation certificate.
How do you come up with all this?
I design every.
Wow. So you put a lot of work into this. So every month you are mailing once a month.
Once a month.
Okay, great.
So this one, I've done this almost over 15, 16 years now.
Wow.
So you can imagine that, compound effect.
Yes. So guys, that's actually really important. What people do, and I've seen this, is they do it for 12 months and they give up.
Yeah.
They're like, I didn't get anything after 12 months. Like, he's been doing this for like 16 years. And now you look, is that they cannot forget him. At this point, it's like they're calling him because they missed his last flyer. So that's very interesting. Yeah. Cool. Great.
And especially when I go and door knock and meet people, I'll get a call after 6 years and say, hey, you met us that time and we are ready to sell now.
Great.
So that's where it helps.
Wow.
Consistent marketing plan. Next one, leverage social media. So Ronak takes care of all that, YouTube video, local videos for Scarborough also. Okay. So any open houses you hold, you put a Facebook post, anything which you can, like Instagram post and all that. That really helps because people see that you are in the community doing open houses and all that. Local events. So every year we have a Port Union festival. You have a Highland Creek annual festival. So we would even hold a stall there. And just have a flyers information about first-time home buyers, probate sales, and all those things.
Wonderful.
Just to keep a face out there.
So this is another thing that I tell people that do farming is that you don't only farm that building or that area, you have to be present in that area. People have to see you on the street. And if they cannot see you on the street, utilize social media, showing that you are in that area often. So it shows that, hey, you're not only just some realtor that is just sending flyers, but you are somebody who is involved in the community in the area.
Exactly. So around springtime, I'll also offer a competition. So the first 10 callers would get a free gardening tool set.
That's interesting.
You know why I do this stuff? And I'll even put even a start of the school year, I'll give it a small satchel with, kids' toys, not toys, pencils and all the school stuff.
Yeah.
Why I do that is I want to see how many people are really reading my newsletter.
Okay, so it gives you an idea.
Yes.
That's so
or I'll
funny.
give free home show tickets. So if they go buy out, it costs them $20, but me, it's sponsored. It costs me like $9 or something.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I give those out. So that tells you how much people are really reading your ad, because there's no other metric to really know. Unless you get a sale call.
Yeah, of course. But again, they might not be ready to sell now, but they might still be reading it.
Yeah, exactly.
So how many calls do you get per flyer, do you think?
So typically I'll post out 10, like I'll give out 10, home show tickets. I would get about 15, 20.
Oh, okay.
I do this 3 times in a year. So like around the Halloween time, I have these, the pylons or the stick-ons, which show you, hey, slow down, we're gathering candy or, so that kind of things I just give out. So this has a name at the bottom. So I just, those really help.
Very smart. And I always say, I could tell right now, I always say that real estate is a lifestyle. It's not a job. And I could tell that it's fully ingrained in everything you do. And that is the only way to be successful.
Yeah, you're right. You have to do the daily grind every day.
Yep, exactly.
Now, door knocking, I think we touched on it. Leverage your referrals. Like, ask everybody you meet door knocking. Okay, you're not selling who's the next person you know who's selling or buying?
Yeah. Or
And
thinking of buying or selling. Yep.
People have just given me, okay, my cousin's going to buy. This is his address. Just call him.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's
it
great.
just works that way. Keep on asking, because unless you don't ask, you don't know. He might not even jog his memory.
So I'm going to go back to your door knocking now, because what do you do when somebody just like, leave me alone? Like, do you let them, is that it? And you just move along? Or
Yeah, I've had instances where people, slam the door on me and say, hey,
leave me alone, get out of here. Well, we won't say what they said to you.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So it's interesting, guys. So when you're going there, you have to have a call to action when it comes to social media. When it comes to in person, you have to ask them. You can't just say, here's this information and then walk away. You have to say, are you selling or buying? Or are you thinking of selling or buying? Do you know anyone thinking of selling or buying? Right? Don't just stop at one question. You have to continuously try to dig out business from them.
I literally use the same script I use on the phone while in person.
Yeah, perfect.
So I just introduced myself, Tom Suchdeva, just here to say hello and see how long you've been here. Are you thinking of selling? Where did you move from? And where would you go next if you ever move? So people start telling and opening up their whole life in front of you. Oh,
you just turn it into a conversation.
Exactly. What do you like about the community? Oh, that store opened up, the pizza store. They make excellent pizza. So, you touch those points and just...
that's interesting. So when you're on a call, you're not just, hi, are you thinking of buying or selling? You're actually sitting there and talking about the community. Oh, did you try this place out? What do you think about this? Yeah. That's good, guys. Turn it into a conversation.
Yeah. So they'll remember that conversation we had. Otherwise, they'll forget it as a cold call.
That's a very good point. So you have to give them something to remember.
Exactly. So offer free home evaluation, which I offer always, because that also builds trust. And typically agents would charge $400, $500 for that letter of opinions. Mm-hmm. But that's not the goal. That's not the end goal for us.
Oh, wow. So in Canada, people are still charging for CMA. Well, we call them CMAs, home valuations.
It's not a CMA. CMA is more for... So these are specific letters which say what's the opinion of your property today. And why they need is for probate sales. They could be husband-wife separating. It could be they want us to refinance the property. So those are the big, reasons they typically want it.
In our area, unfortunately, they use appraisers for that. But that is still a very unique strategy. So either way, you're finding a way to offer them a free service for something that they would normally be paying for.
And it's value. It's proper written, it have proper format. I sign it, I give it to them, and so.
No, that's very good. That's
and
very
I always
good.
hand deliver it.
Perfect.
So they
have to talk to you.
Yeah,
they have to talk to you.
Not just email and just, So
that's so funny.
Valuable content. Always create valuable content so that they see value. They don't just see the picture and throw it. They open and read it.
I mean, your flyer is very detailed, so you put a lot of time into that, I can tell.
Yeah. Thank you. Engage with local businesses. So what I would do, there's a ice cream shop at the corner, and I'll go and speak with that lady and say, hey, summer's coming up. Give me a break on the first, 50 ice creams. But she said, okay, Tom, anybody who comes with your flyer would get the ice cream at $2.
Oh, so that's really cool. Show my flyer and you'll get, 50% off. Oh, very cool.
So why I do that is to increase the shelf life of my flyer.
Very smart. Very smart.
It might cost me $500 for that, ice cream store, but it'll, it's an extra bonus, and they keep the flyer and they remember me now.
That's very cool. I like that.
Yeah. Or partner up with a local pizza store. Great. Or, yeah.
I have some ideas already. I know somebody that owns a yogurt shop.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what I'm used to.
I'm going to be bugging them.
Yogurt. That's what exactly.
Yeah. Great.
Now, also track your results.
Yes.
Why we get discouraged in the start is we think, 12 months passed, I didn't get a call, but you don't know what's rumbling. I mean, what's happening in that 5 contacts you made in the year or 10 contacts you made in the year. And they might mature next year, all of them. Mm-hmm. And I've seen instances where 6 months I had no sale from a flyer, whereas I keep on sales, but I would get a call, Tom, I'm ready to sell. Come, sell my property. I'm ready to sell this one. I'm ready to upsize. Okay. So my whole cost of this gets covered within one transaction.
One transaction, yep.
So I don't even give it up anytime. There's no point giving it up.
It's breaking even at least. Yeah. And guys, you need to understand that oftentimes, Tom is clearly, 20 years in the game and he's doing large farming areas. If you're newer, start with a smaller farming area and continuously do it though. Do not stop. Continuously do it.
Now, do you know what the size of my farm is today?
Oh gosh, I don't even want to know. What is it, like 10,000 people or something?
25,000 homes.
Holy!
Yeah.
I was joking.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
I
Good
do that
Lord!
25,000 now. But
Wow,
what I do is,
25,000.
because Canadian winters are very cold,
Yeah.
I utilize my phone.
Okay.
So I still follow up and speak with them. And, I may
Wow.
not be able to reach everybody because lesser landlines now,
Yeah.
but a lot of seniors in my area, they have landlines. So.
Well, guys, you gotta start somewhere, and you don't have to be 25,000 homes to sell a home. You could start smaller and build yourself up.
Ideally, you want to start with maybe 500 to 1,500 homes. Don't start bigger.
Great. Okay.
You'll get discouraged very soon otherwise.
Yes, because you're going to spend a lot of money. You're going to realize, hey, I'm not getting the money back.
Yeah, so you could get discouraged and you leave then you stop farming it. So
yeah, you stop farming or you leave the business.
How many times you put your testimonials out there?
Okay, great.
That's where you need to do. I emphasize on my flyer. I always put testimonials. I have a Google profile. I direct people to my Google profile.
Great.
Go and search Tom Suchdeva, and you will see all my people who've actually left reviews, positive reviews with pictures, because that speaks also. I'll tell everybody, can you take a picture with me and just let's post it.
There you go. Yeah, I always do that. And I always tell my it's such a wasted opportunity at a closing table and you didn't take a photo with your client. Exactly. I'm like, guys, what are you doing? It's the easiest thing you could do. You take a photo with your client, post it online. That's it.
I mean, you can get from Amazon, the soul sign I have, Veronica.
Yeah. And you can have them hold it up. Yep.
Hold it up or a key or something and just take a nice picture. So show local success stories. Great. So what I typically do is, if I take a listing which was listed by somebody else, didn't sell, and he calls me because I'm local now, I highlight that story. Oh, this guy's listed this property for, let's say, $1 million. He couldn't sell it for 6 months. Now, I sold this property for $1,050,000 after staging it, renovating it, cleaning it, painting it. So this
$50K is a lot.
So it speaks that, okay, I just don't just put a banner out there. I also help you stage, clean, paint, and all that.
Yep. And that's, guys, that $50K, I mean, to a seller, that's a lot of money.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's still a big check for us.
That's a big check. That's a big check, of course.
Consistency, we already discussed on
wait, by the way, we're not allowed to talk about commissions.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not talking about commissions. All right, go on.
Be authentic. That's what I like. If you don't know an answer, you meet somebody, tell them I'll find you the right source. I don't know the answer right now. Well, because agents have a tendency to sound too smart all the time.
Yeah.
But you need to be low your guard and tell them I don't know the answer. But I'll do my research and get you the answer. Be your authentic self. Don't bluff it up that you sold 50 homes last year. You're one of the biggest brokers and all that. Be realistic of what your goals are. This is what you're doing for the community. This is what your objective is. You're helping 50 families move this year, or help with their real estate decisions rather than saying, I sold 50 homes. Yeah. So it just change your verbiage. Think of the other party as a human too. And I think every realtor should buy and sell a home every 5 years. To understand
their own.
The emotions
you
they
mean
go
their
through.
own?
Their own. To understand the emotions everybody goes through.
Good. And earn yourself some commissions.
Yeah, exactly. And
but that's a very, very good point, because I have a lot of agents, especially the newer ones, they're really trying. And I hear them on the phone and they're just too salesy. And I'm just like, guys, people don't want to hear this overly salesy. They could read right through it. Like, read your script, but make it your own so it sounds like you, right? Like, exactly. People can tell that it's not you. You're just reading off a piece of paper at that point. Good. Authenticity.
So be authentic. About the condo market now. The key with the condos is to know the price per square foot. How many renters live in that building? Like, let's say 40% rental. What are the pet policies? Does this building have a swimming pool? Are there any special assessments? Is there a concierge 24/7? Yep. Where does the mail get delivered? I mean, the more knowledge you gather on a building and you can advise them, the more comfort they have that the C is guiding us in the right direction.
And he knows
sometimes
what he's talking
if you're ready
about.
to pull a trigger and making a wrong decision, tell them, guys, I'm working as a GPS for you, but don't make this decision. Yeah,
no, it's very true.
You are in the driver's seat, but I'm in that, I'm working like a GPS for you. So.
No, but that's true, because, just like you said earlier in our conversation, you need to be able to have the knowledge of the area. Otherwise, you're not going to look like the expert.
Yeah, and rest, I always say, even everybody invest in real estate. It's the biggest asset on the earth. They're not making of it anymore.
So true. It's so true.
questions? I mean, anything you want to add on to it?
Oh, that was 20?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That was pretty cool. I was like, what's the next one? Tell me more. No, that was amazing. That was really good. And I think that's going to be incredibly valuable to the audience, guys. You know, just some things that really stuck out, guys. You're not just sending out a postcard or a flyer. There's a lot that goes to it. You heard him talk about how he not only sent the flyers out, but he knocked on some doors. He made some calls. You know, he goes to community events. He, you know, continuously sends these flyers out. He has calls to action. Guys, it's not only a flyer. And I always say this, and my agents, if they're listening in here, they're going to start laughing. They'll be like, he does say this, because it's not just a flyer. Do not send 12 flyers out in a year and think that you're going to get business. You have to do so much more. This is a business, and you are the CEO, CFO, and CMO of that business.
Exactly.
So you have to really deep dive into it. So closing remarks, Tom, anything that you want to impart on us before we head out?
I think persistence, consistency, that's on top. If you can be persistent, you can be consistent with your flyers, with your door knocking, with meeting people. It's a people's business.
Yep.
And if you are an introvert and you're not going to meet people, don't be a secret agent, right? I mean, go see people, go meet people, engage.
Break out of your shell. Break out of your shell.
Ultimately, it compounds over time. So,
yeah. No, that's great, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Welcome.
Honestly, guys, he's in his office right now working. Yeah. So that would show you, and we record these on the weekends. So he's out there working, and so should you. You should all be out there as well. And guys, I end off my episodes the same way. Don't be a basic biscuit.